Hello, mate. How's it going? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, mate, I do hope you are doing well. I really do hope that, friend. And yeah, welcome back to Chelsea News. Ooh, on a match day, that's right. There will, of course, be a late match reaction to Chelsea's final Champions League phase game away at the Maradona in Naples against Antonio Conte's and Romelu Lukaku's Napoli. Probably should be called Scott McTominay's Napoli. Yeah, a win and you're in, hopefully, for the top 8. Handsome win, and you're definitely in. I'll react to that, of course, but this morning there's lots of percolating transfer news and general news in the background that I did want to react to. Of course, there's this developing story with young defender Jacquet, the French centre-back. Apparently, Chelsea are in a big transfer battle for him, so we'll see what happens there. Liam Rosenior, yet another impressive press conference. We know he speaks well. Of course, he faced the media last night with Moises Caicedo. Spoke about the Cole Palmer to Manchester United story that I've refused to speak on until now. We'll talk about that. And Raheem the Dream's nightmare, see what I did there, could be about to end. Would you Adam and Eve it? The story, the sweet, loving, humble story could finally be meeting its finale. Raz at Chelsea. So, strap yourselves in. I'm delighted to have you here with me. Please do show your support only if you want to. You can do so by liking the video, mate. Subscribing if you're new. If you choose to subscribe, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Yeah. Also, simply search Football Therapy Podcast on all podcast platforms, can't speak, for this to be available there. On Spotify, there's video. And if on Spotify, you can give me a 5-star rating. And I think on other podcast platforms, you can give me a 5-star rating. It's just nice to support your boy. And I do feel your warm, loving touch whenever you support me. So thanks for that. Right, here we go. Fabrizio Romano on X. The platform that brings you horrible news almost all the time, but sometimes football updates. Romano posts the following. The race to sign Jacquet ahead of the summer transfer window is still ongoing. So now it is a summer thing, but everyone's got each other in a headlock this window for a pre-agreement. And the 3 main contenders are Chelsea, Liverpool, and FC Bayern München. 3 big clubs. Are all in active talks. They're all trying to get the deal now for the next campaign. Negotiations ongoing. Now, I will reiterate my position on this young man, this homme jeune. Is that right? I believe so. Apparently he's really good and everyone wants him, you know? Without trying to sound too much like a broken record, I did a very basic FBref statistical comparison between him, the defender from Como, as I affectionately were calling him, Jacobo from Como, and Senesi from Bournemouth, who's obviously more senior, about to turn 29 at the end of the season. And Senesi had the most dominant stats in the hardest league, and the most underwhelming metrics did come from Jeremy Jacquet. But this just goes to show you, sometimes these basic statistics laid out on a sheet ain't everything. And what would probably personify that the most, friends, is the fact how Bayern, Liverpool and Chelsea are all rucking it out for this kid, rather than the aforementioned 2 players, the 2 other players. So, by all accounts, this kid's different gravy granules. Loads of people want him. Now, he did agree to join Chelsea, and personal terms were agreed. And there was this idea that would have considered selling him to Chelsea this window. But had they sold him this window to the Chelsea, it would have been for a record transfer fee. You know, more money than they sold Doku for to Man City. And he is a defender. So he should be cheaper than the likes of Jeremy Doku. in reality. But I dig it. They're chasing Champions League football mid-season. He's an important player. They don't want to lose him. The gaffer's pretty much said that in media duties. So we're at the point now where Chelsea, Liverpool, and Bayern are fighting for him. Can I be real for a second? I don't know enough about this kid, and at the moment, I'm not overly bothered, purely because I do have a great deal of belief in the likes of Fofana. Joshua Champong, I think, could be excellent. And if we are to believe the briefs coming out from Chelsea to the likes of, The Athletic and those kind of broadsheet publications, he is a untouchable, or is absolutely not for sale, Joshua Champong. We've got the likes of Levi Colwill returning. I guess the centre-back needs to be signed if we sell Disasi, if we sell Tosin, if we sell, and you're not going to like this, Chalobah. It might happen. It's seemingly a recurring narrative that won't go away. Who knows? It shouldn't feel like a Benoit Badiashiel's an untouchable defender either. So there could be a massive churn at centre-back. But yeah, this kid is being really, really highly thought of and fought over. God, that's difficult to say. Anyway, Jacquet. Keep it locked. I will update you. Let's move on. So many of you would have seen Cole Palmer's homesick. Cole Palmer wants to go back to Manchester. Cole Palmer is a boyhood Manchester United fan, which is true. He idolized Wayne Rooney growing up, which is true. He's unhappy. He wants to go back. And the standards, which I'm using here. Liam Rosenior makes new Cole Palmer transfer vow as Manchester United links addressed. So this is, of course, in reference to him addressing the media, the Chelsea manager, yesterday about Cole Palmer. Let's read. Liam Rosenior insists that Cole Palmer is settled at Chelsea and that the rumours of his preference to leave for Manchester United are, quote, unrealistic. Palmer, born and raised in Manchester and a former player of Man City, is a boyhood Man United fan and over the past week has been subject to reporting which has suggested that he is homesick in London and would welcome a transfer interest from the Red Devils. Yucca! Right, but his head coach Rosenior insists that the 23-year-old is happy at Chelsea and has questioned the timing of speculation claiming that Palmer is unsettled, which has come soon after the departure of former manager, of course, Enzo Maresca. Palmer has missed the last 2 matches with a small thigh strain. He's had all kinds of injuries, but is set to return on Wednesday night when Chelsea face Napoli in the Champions League at the Stadio Diego Maradona, looking to seal a top 8 finish in their final league phase fixture and automatic progress into the last 16, without the need of a 2-legged, of course, nervy knockout playoff tie. Yeah, we don't want that, guys. We do not want that. Asked whether Palmer is considered untouchable and if he is happy at Chelsea, Rosenior told reporters in his pre-match press conference in Naples on Tuesday evening, yes and yes. Cole is an incredible player, like the guy sitting next to me, who he's referring to Moises Caicedo, and many others in the group. I'm not surprised at the timing a new manager comes in and a player is unsettled. It's not true. Cole is here. He's very happy, and I can't wait to see him back on the pitch. Rosenior was also quizzed on whether he had any conversations with co-sporting directors Winstanley and Stewart over Palmer's future amid talks to Manchester United, because of course Palmer is under contract at Stamford Bridge until the summer of 2033, and he said, there's no reason for assurance. It's so unrealistic, this story about him going to Man United. It's come from nowhere. There's no need to have a conversation. Cole is happy. You can't stop speculation because some speculation is so far from the truth. There's literally no point having a conversation. He's basically saying, why are we even talking about this? This is nonsense. Cole Palmer is happy at Chelsea. And you can all shut up now and go away, pretty much. Of course, you saw some Manchester United fans excited on social media about the idea. You saw a lot of the edits, him, the mock-up in the Man United kit, the natural successor to Bruno Fernandes, all that kind of stuff. You know, the boys coming home. And Palmer, fit and firing, is insanely good. So you can understand United fans getting excited about it. But the Chelsea manager just basically said, no, it's all absolute nonsense. It's not even worth talking about. So, see you later, shut up, laugh it off, and move on. And since there have been briefings from publications that internally at Chelsea, and indeed at Man United, that everyone's just sort of laughing this off because they think it's all rather silly. So the whole Cole Palmer to Manchester United situation story is a load of hot air. It's nonsense, and he's staying at Chelsea. Even if sometimes he doesn't look happy. Well, it's obvious because his form's not been great. He's been going through an injury problems. He's not just turned up at Chelsea and been miserable. He turned up at Chelsea and it's made him who he is. You know, he thanked Pochettino. He's clearly, he'll never regret coming to Chelsea. It's made him a superstar. You know, he's just obviously trademarked his celebration. The logo does actually look pretty cool with the C and the P doing the cold sign. That's pretty cool, I think. I know it's a bit lame, that sort of trademarky football thing. But, you know, he's making something out of himself, and it's all come from coming here to Chelsea. He's grateful for his move. He wants to he wants to play over Stevao. He wants to play with these amazing young players and do more amazing performances in games like he did in the Club World Cup final against PSG. That's what's got to happen at Chelsea. So we've got to wait for him to regain form, but first and foremost, regain fitness. And then you'll see him happier on the pitch again. We've seen him smiling in training, having a laugh, but we really need him to cook on the field, you know, with the likes of Estevao and Joao Pedro and his old mate Delap and this, that, and the other. And we will see smiles again. Right, let's move into the last. All right. So, let's get this from Slow Sports News. Kava Solikol. He speaks like the most journalistic tone, this guy ever. Raheem Sterling transfer news. Chelsea winger expected to leave club by the end of the January transfer window. I must say, I will believe this when I see it. This was published last evening. The following morning now. Sterling has not played for Chelsea since May 2024, my giddy aunt, and remained one of the club's best paid players. He is the club's best paid player, earning a reported £325,000 a week. Sterling does not want another loan move after moving to Arsenal last season. The 31-year-old could leave as a free agent this month. Called it! I said that. Oh, okay, let's have another transition. Why not? I did say there is no ruddy way we're going to find a way to sell Sterling without terminating his contract. I said we're going to have to get round the table, have a conversation and be like, hey, bro, we don't want to pay you £325,000 a week anymore. Can we stop doing that? And can you just maybe go away? Do you know what I mean? No transfer fee. Just leave. You get a bigger sign-on fee wherever you go. So you might get an extra few milli, and then you sign like a 2 or 3 year contract at a Fulham or West Ham if they stay up. You know, they look like they might stay up now and play in London, and keep playing football and doing your nice story academy football stuff that you do, your projects, and go from there. So let's read a little bit into this story. Sterling and Chelsea are close to finding a solution in the next few days, which will end the long, drawn-out standoff between the club and the winger. Of course, the deadline's on February the 2nd, so we are closing in now, friends. Sterling has not played for Chelsea since May 2024, even though he remained one of the club's highest earners, of course, £325k a week. Insane. Absolutely chicken Orient. Oh, he spent last season on loan at Arsenal, making 28 appearances, but has been training away from Chelsea's first team squad since last summer, when a move away could not be agreed during the window. Chelsea are now in talks with Sterling and his representatives, and a solution is expected to be found before the window closes at 7 p.m. on Monday evening. He's also reportedly had conversations with Liam Rosenior about his career and come on, mate, let's sort this out now. Do you know what I mean? I know you're enjoying getting paid for doing nothing, but let's get you're an amazing player. You've had an insane career. You're so good. It's not over yet. Let's do something. Go and do something. He'd have to have an amazing 6 months somewhere for Tuchel to call him up. I know Tuchel loves Sterling, but considering the options, that's available on the wings, and he loves obviously Rashford and other players that can play out wide. Tuchel, there's just no way. We're talking about, is it unlikely that Cole Palmer gets called up to Tuchel's England because Tuchel has his favourites and he's here for a good time, not a long time. So if he thinks Morgan Rogers can perform immediately quicker, he'll just go for Morgan Rogers. There's no way, I don't think. If Sterling moved in the summer, played well, was at this point, say, had off the wing 8 league goals, 7 league assists, all non-penalty goals, Tuchel might go, I'm going to call him up in the summer. But now there's just, he hasn't got a snowball's chance in hell, mate. He has 18 months left on his contract. That would cost Chelsea 25 million in wages. Oh, it's good money if you can get it. If he were to stay until that contract ran out in 2027, which he would be well within his rights to do. Well, we gave him the contract. Sterling does not want another loan deal, so it's either permanent, have to be arranged in the next few days, or find a compromise agreement reached where he will become a free agent. I think literally just tearing off his I was going to say forging deal. I didn't swear. I just made a vowel sound. Ooh. Ah, man. I reckon they'll just terminate his contract because, no one's going to... It's not just about his value as a player. It's no one's going to absolve those wages. Sterling signed a 5-year deal when we signed him for 40... It says 50, but it's 47.5 million. It was Bowley's gift to Tuchel with some other people you like Aubameyang, have Aubameyang. You really want Sterling, have Sterling. Have a Koulibaly, That kind of screwed us. The deal was just 2 months after Chelsea had been bought, of course, by new owners, Todd Bowley and his consortium, which we have since learned is Collect Capital, and they've become the sort of headline evil dictators, more so. It's less so than Bowley's. It's not Bowley's Chelsea anymore. It never was, but people used to say Bowley's Chelsea. It's now Clear Lake's Chelsea, innit? And of course, Statistical goes on here to talk about... let's quickly see. Palmer, untouchable at Chelsea. Untouchable! News talks. And Jacquet prefers Chelsea move. He's expressed a preference to join Chelsea despite interest from multiple teams. Ooh! Chelsea's the best. Better than Bayern and Liverpool, mate. Come Chelsea. Plus, one thing these the sporting directors have definitely got right is it's an exciting time to be a young player because you're joining a gaggle of young, talented players that in theory should develop together and become a super team in time. That's what we're hoping. Oh God, that's what we're hoping. But there you go, bit of a ding-dong of a video, I'd say. Palmer, happy. Sterling, leaving. Jacquet, Chelsea. What do you think? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I am delighted to have them. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube and following and 5-starring on Spotify when searching Football Therapy Podcast. And it's probably good time to say follow Football Therapy Clips. Repeat, Football Therapy Clips on Instagram and TikTok. Of course, you will get the shorts here on this channel as well, but if you don't watch shorts on YouTube and you just use TikTok or Instagram, one more time, Football Therapy Clips, and you can follow that. All right, mate, I'm out. Take care of yourselves. Peace.